Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Bara Sapir. Bara is the CEO, founder, of City Test Prep and a thought leader, speed reading consultant. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Bara Sapir. Bara, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
So my childhood was pretty bucolic. We lived in a really beautiful area in central New Jersey. And I think that just being able to be a kid outside and playing and seeing the wonders around me gave me a real sense of the world and engagement with it. So in being in the world and in being open to the mysteries that showed themselves, that I think had a huge impact on the work that I do, in taking opportunities that came to me and in seeing the positive. Where's a problem? How can I fix it? Where are my skill sets going to meet it? I really think my childhood really influenced me in that way.
What are the top 3 mistakes to avoid?
So one of the top mistakes is getting stuck on an idea and belief how something is supposed to be, right? Having in your mind a business plan and saying, I have to stick to this business plan and this is the way it needs to be. Really looking at the cues that the universe is giving you and the cues that you've trained yourself to see what you need and how you need to be. I also think listening only to feelings or listening only to data, right? If you only listen to data, but it still doesn't feel right and you go forward, I think that could be a mistake. And then also just not sticking to what you believe in, sticking to a plan just because it seems like the right thing to do, but it really isn't. I think you really need to look at the whole picture and work with integrity.
Give us one more.
One more. If something's not working, pivot.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Yeah, this was a tough question because I don't quite believe in failure. I believe that every situation is an opportunity for growth and transformation. So there's like little peccadillos, little things that have fallen by the wayside that haven't worked, but failure isn't a word that I like to use. It's really about pivoting, and it's really about moving closer to what's in alignment with what I feel how something should be.
What are your top 3 success secrets the others can model from?
So my top 3 success secrets, one is growth mindset. So growth mindset has to do with really what I just talked about in the failure question, is looking at a situation not as a dead end or not as something that's going to stop me or that I'm inherently not able to do something, but giving myself an orientation and perspective that I can shift, that I can move in another direction, and I can learn from the experience, and that we're all malleable. The second one is emotional regulation, right? So how using the tools to allow myself to be a little bit more distanced and having a little bit more space between what it is that I'm confronted with, and regulating, because coming from a place of calm regulation is it's a more regulated, normal, calm, focused way to perform, and I make better decisions. And the third is not to forget both the big goals and the small steps to get there. So it's really important to know what that big picture is, to visualize what that is, and then take the steps to move closer towards it.
One more.
To think big, to not be encumbered by small thinking, not to be thinking about just the numbers, but thinking about the feeling that comes, right? It's like you can have as much money in the world as you want, but if you're not happy, and it's thinking about the end goal is really being happy, not having all the numbers or the data or the result you want is the feeling, not the thing.
Why is it important for to have a happy feeling from anything you do?
I don't think it's important to have just a happy feeling. I think that a full battery of emotions are really important, and to know that each emotion is going to be a learning experience and is going to allow you to live a deeper life. I personally believe that whether or not there's multiple lives, I have no idea, but I do know I have this life, and I do know that I want this life to count. And so the decisions that I make are going to give me the kind of quality of living that I want. So that's.
We are about to move into lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
I believe I am.
What are you grateful for today?
So there's so many things that I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I take the time to be grateful, first of all. I'm grateful that I have a really amazing community and time to grow my friendships and loves. I'm grateful that we are headed out of COVID. I'm incredibly grateful, and I'm hoping that we're moving towards a more equitable future. And I'm grateful that there's been a shift in tides in this country.
How young are you?
I am infinite. I'm infinite. I am timeless. I am over 18.
Okay, so you just said it yourself. You are 18 years old, and rest is all experience. How much? The people who are watching this, they are going to guess it. Why not you write a comment and let us know?
How old I am?
No, I'm
No.
asking audience, people who are
Oh,
watching.
okay.
What you want to do when you grow up?
When I grow up, I'd like to spend more time with animals. I'd like to do more work with making the planet a better place. I just started something in my community because they were spraying some toxins. So when I grow up, I want to spend more time making the world. I feel like I'm making the world better with people, and I'm slowly transitioning to making it a better place for the animals and the plants, but more dog rescue, much more dog rescue.
What is stopping you to do it now?
Nothing is stopping me. I am doing it now. I'm just not I do have to pay the bills, but I do a lot of work with advocacy for dogs and for the planet.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
This is similar to the failure question that you asked earlier, right? So challenges are really fun. They're a dance, and you get to wrestle with them. So it's picking out the pieces and understanding, why is it a challenge? What am I constituted of that this particular thing is getting me in knots, or something that I'm feeling I need to move through. So when I have a challenge, I really feel the feels and move through what I am to learn from it, and who do I need to get help from in order to move through it.
How do you
Delegate.
How do you start your day?
I start my day with walking my dog through this beautiful, beautiful hills of the East Bay of San Francisco, making a really nice cup of coffee, espresso, and really just waking up and being aware and alert for the day.
What is the advice you will give to a younger yourself?
Don't sweat the small stuff.
Once you have a revenue-generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
Oh, I don't convince anyone of anything. I do what I want. I'm good.
What is the impactful business book you have read? What did you learn from it?
So I have a couple of interesting book choices. One is Danielle Laporte, the Firestarter Sessions. I feel like this really allows a person to dig deep into what their desires are and what it is that they're moving towards and how they want to achieve it, and getting the fire started. The second book I want to mention is this, which are two of my teachers, Jill Hammer and Taya Shear. It's The Jewish Priestess, the Hebrew Priestess. And because this really talks about the archetypes. I don't feel that the archetypes within our culture, within the Judeo-Christian culture, have really spread into everyday living. So this really breaks down different archetypes, and it's been interesting for me to see, oh, when am I the sage? When am I the judge? When am I, like, what are the different parts of myself? We don't have a lot of models as women to be business people that are outside of a very strict norm of the masculine patriarchal image. And so I feel like this has been a really great book to remind me that there's lots of other archetypes that we can tap into.
Why being impactful is important to you?
Oh, I think I could quote a musical that says, to touch another person is to see the face of God, right? So to be impactful allows us to know that we have some sort of movement through the world. There's a poem by Mark Strand about it's called I Move Through the Air in order to allow the air to move around me, and to have the idea is to have an impact. I move and the air moves with me. It's a dance. So being impactful means that you're engaged in that dance.
Who is your living mentor and what's the impact?
Dr. Joe Milgram, who's out of Jerusalem, is an artist, and she is a disruptor within the Jewish art world. And I studied with her for a couple of years in Jerusalem, and I really feel that her work in looking at text and understanding text from a much more psychological, artistic, creative manner, that she's been hugely impactful, because she showed me how it's so easy to be that disruption, and to see that our truth is going to be valuable not only to ourselves, but might also impact and influence others.
What do you want to be remembered for?
So many things. I'd like to be remembered for being a positive person who was inspired, and also who inspired other people to be their best self, and leaving the world a better place.
Who is your ideal client?
So my ideal client is someone who really wants to make the world a better place, someone who wants to take their own skills and use the tools that I can teach them, and have a positive impact on the people that they work with and work for.
How can we support you?
I believe that we all support each other, right? So in supporting me, I would love to find students who are ready to take the next. So I'm ready for students who are ready to take the next step in their education, and for folks who are ready to plunge into taking high stakes tests. And if they need help, not only in the content, but also in the strategy and the time management through speed reading, also the mindset piece. So an ideal client is someone who's ready to go forward with their education.
We are about to wrap up. I'd like to have your few words about today's guest experience on the show. Here's my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
It's wonderful. It's great to think about one's life through the lens of the impact that one makes. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to talk about it and maybe inspire other people to take a road less traveled. So you've had a nice assortment of questions. So it's been a fun journey to talk about them, talk about the answers.
What would you say about your as a final word?
Oh, be happy, be satisfied, live with integrity, walk a path where you're making positive change.
Thank you so much, Bara, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.